Roger Fleming is the policy director, and I'm Zach Cliver, the science director for Blue Planet Strategies. We had great partners in this ongoing project with Rich Riles and his team at Sea Mammal Education Learning Technology Society, and also Ben Martens and his great gang at Maine Coast Fishermen's Association. Our project set out to develop and test some ropeless fishing systems that were specifically designed to remove buoy lines on Maine gill nets in order to reduce whale entanglements, especially with the North Atlantic right whale, and also to test gear tracking technology on fishing gear and to reduce derelict fishing gear. This work was made possible by the National Fish and Wildlife Foundation's Fishing for Energy grant program, and we'd like to thank them very much. Now, NOAA has prioritized work around reducing entanglements in whales on the eastern seaboard of the United States, and have identified gill nets as one source of whale entanglement. But also it's a global issue, and Randy Reeves and colleagues looked globally and were able to determine that it's not just the nets that are an issue, it's also the vertical lines that large whales especially can get caught up in. Also, ghost gear is a problem that affects the health of the oceans and reduces fisheries if gear is lost and fish continue to be caught. And gill nets do occupy about 20% of the world's global fisheries and are found in all the world's oceans. So we set out to address these two things, and also discovered that the work could really help with the reduction of gear conflict for fishermen. We worked with Maine Center for Coastal Fisheries, which are based in Brunswick, and they put us in touch with a great fishing crew in Kennebunkport, Maine, aboard the fishing vessel Shannon Christine. The map shows their fishing grounds around Jeffrey's Ledge and Platt's Bank and then southern Maine. And the picture in the lower right shows the harbor itself. It's just an incredibly protected and beautiful harbor. And the picture in the bottom middle there shows our first meeting last year, in which we were able to bring some gear and walk through it and show it off on shore. Now, the fishing that is being done with gill nets is for monkfish, and here you're using long strings of nets called strings or stringers. Each string has two end lines and approximately 15 nets. Each net is 300 feet in length. The total length of each string is about 4,500 feet then. They're fishing 8 strings with a total of 16 end lines. Now, our research objectives were in part to set out to test whether we could create a hybrid gill net system in which we could remove one high flyer end line and anchor and replace that anchor with a ropeless unit, and then with the remaining vertical line put a smart buoy on there to track that end of the gear. Our research was more broader than that, and it became clear early on that we would need to apply for an exempted fishing permit through NOAA to be able to modify the gill net systems that we want to work with. We were successful in doing that. We received funding for 6 ropeless gear units that were built by Smelts, and we set out to also do both surface and subsea marking and to put smart buoys on each of the gill nets. The grant allowed for 6, and Smelt was able to donate an additional 2 so that we could mark each gill net string. We felt it was very important to be able to mark the gear if the gear is moved by a vessel, a mobile fixed mobile fishing gear, storms. If a whale got caught up in it, having that smart buoy attached really could help in determining where the gear goes and reducing lost gear and maybe helping with the whale entanglement issue. So we set out with our NOAA fishing permit. We applied for that we started working on that at the beginning of the year and put our application in May and received the exempted fishing permit in early September. Our permit allows us to work with also with lobster fishermen, and up to 8 fishermen this year and 12 next year. The Smelt's ropeless raft systems are designed so that they're a lifting technology, and they truly are a ropeless system in that they're using airbags and air for retrieval. They have developed all different size systems and different size bags depending upon how deep the water is, you know, where you're fishing and what is most reasonable and useful. So we were very excited to work with 2 of the leading acoustic release manufacturers in the world. We have 2 of the 6 systems were with Teledyne acoustic modems, and 4 of the systems included EdgeTech hardware. We did a lot of training at the dock in the spring, working with the fishermen to get them up to speed. And here's a little video that shows one of our first trips to sea in May, just running through the deployment of the gear. We also were able to walk them through the use of the acoustic release systems and the trap tracker, the EdgeTech trap tracker, to go through these systems to bring them up to speed and show them how those could be used. Early on, we decided to integrate the ropeless gear in the gillnet system in the month of August. Before we had received our EFP, we decided to replace one of the anchors with the gillnet ropeless raft so that it could simply act as the anchor, and then we could get the fishermen working with the gear sooner. We still have the 2 end lines, and we continue to fish that way at this point. We're looking toward moving toward the hybrid system soon, but at this point we're just working with this system where we're using the ropeless integrate into their normal gillnet set. So we went to sea a number of times with them fishing and walked through the gear with them and worked with them at sea. This, of course, is an ongoing project, so we're not going to be reporting on the results of the success of the release systems at this point. This research will continue through the fall and into the winter, and we'll be reporting on this later and at the Society for Marine Mammalogy conference this summer. We have been using the Blue Ocean gear Farallon buoys, smart buoys. for the last 3 months to mark the gear at the sea, and we can sit at home and go online and look up exactly where the gear is. And these systems are incredible. It has a little ear at the top that allows the rope to run through and attach to the regular fishing system. It has a satellite and radio connectivity. The satellite system is iridium, so it's able to communicate anywhere in the world. And also the fishermen are able to receive notices if their gear moves. They can receive an alert. So we've been very excited with this and the success of this so far. This is some of the data that is also collected from the buoys. They're able to capture the air temperature, and you can see this is from one buoy over the course of 3 months. And also it can show you the distance it moves, if the gear moves at all. We're going to be continuing to test into the winter. We're going to look to move towards a hybrid system. We've been in touch with additional fishermen that are interested in working with us, additional gill netters, and we're going to continue this work beyond the grant, look for partnerships and funding to continue the work into 2022 and beyond. We had a terrific and have a terrific fishermen and crew. In fact, we're talking to them a lot all the time. Rich talks to him almost every day, so we've become really good friends. And we wanted you to hear directly from the captain about his experience and what he thinks of the project.
All right, Kevin, you've been testing the ocean here smartly as part of your operation. How has this helped your work?
It's nice to mark your gear and know where it is. People, actually, when I open up my phone, I can show Wardens or anybody where my gear is. It's actually kind of a helpful thing to actually have satellite iridium on your gear. And eventually, I'd like to get it on AIS so the draggers could then see your gear, so they could work with each other instead of fighting each other.
Awesome. All right, pretty up to. For 2, you've been also testing FlemingRopeless wraps operation.
I've been playing with rafts. It's been kind of tricky to get the hang of it, but I finally, after like a month and a half of having some successful deploys of non-human error, there's quite a bit to learning how to use them, along with like the different boxes and using. You end up using sonar to deploy them, and so it's actually kind of a neat thing to be able to properly use them.
Great, last question. Be excited about that incorporates ropeless air and technology as a start.
Yeah, I would be excited to be able to put all that information onto AIS so that once you have the big draggers and stuff, you can see my gear, so there's no gear pump, and then there'd be less gear on the bottom of the ocean of potential fishing, still fishing, when if something happens to your gear, the gear goes through it. Really too bad if there's gear left behind that kills things.
Perfect. That was good.
I'd like to thank the National Fish and Wildlife Foundation, the fishing crew of the Shannon Christine, the Pew Charitable Trust for additional funding, EdgeTech, Blue Ocean Gear, and Teledyne for their great partnership, and also NOAA and their terrific staff for helping us acquire an EFP. Thank you.